Okay, so you can finish the chi-squared finding the residuals in your calculator. So you need to first put in your observed and expected frequencies in, and that's under the lists. And remember, it's not the list button. To edit the list, you need to go under stat. So you're going to hit the stat button and hit enter to go to edit. And I already have stuff in here, so go up to the top. Don't hit delete, but hit clear. And you're just going to clear out all the columns, unless you need to keep them for some reason, in which case that's fine. Just do it over in a different column. But I'm going to clear out all my data, so I'm just going up to the top, and I'm hitting clear, and then enter. Okay, so I'm going to put in my observed frequencies, and then my expected frequencies, making sure that whatever the first entry is, that it matches up to the first entry for the expected, so that they're lined up against each other. So just going to make sure I'm doing this very carefully. All right, 35, 50, 30, 10, and 25. I also always just go back and double check that I didn't enter anything in weirdly. So 30, 45, oops, see? I put in 5 instead of 15 because my hand just didn't hit that one correctly. 15, 15, 45. It is always worth your time to spend that extra 3 seconds to look down your lists and double check all your numbers are right, than to go through the whole process and be frustrated because your answer didn't come up ready. We can, if we want to, skip straight to this step. However, because I have this, I'm going to show you a way that you can find this step, find this step, find this step. And mostly what's happening is that you just want the calculator to do the work for you. So I'm trying to take the observed minus the expected. Now notice I put my observed in L1 and my expected in L2. I'm going to put my O minus E in L3. So I'm going to go to the top of L3, where now you can see down here in your function bar it says L3 equals, and I'm going to tell it L1 minus L2. And to find where L1 through L6 are, they're down here. You're going to hit the second button to get a hold of them. So second L1 minus second L2, because I'm looking for the O minus the E. And I'm just going to hit enter, and your calculator does all the work for you. You don't even have to think about it. You can double check, was I expecting 5? Yep. So for L4, what I'm really looking for, I'm going to put O minus E squared in L4. Well, L4 is just say, hey, take everything you just did and square it, right? So I'm going to go over to the next column, and I'm going to tell it, hey, I want you to take the L3 column, and I want you to square it. And you have the square button right here, but you can also do caret 2 if you like. And that, exactly what it says, L4 is equal to column L3 squared. I'm going to hit enter, and now I've squared it, and I don't even have to do it square by square because it's doing it for me. So I know what you're thinking, this isn't saving that much time, but when you have more than 5 categories, the more categories you get, the more this starts to save you time. Finally, in L5 is where I'm going to put this O minus E squared over E. And so notice the top of this is L4. L4 is O minus E squared, right? And L2 is E. So what I'm really asking for here is L4 divided by L2. So I'm going to go to the top of L5 and I'm going to tell it, hey, take L4 and divide by L2. I'm going to hit enter. And now it gives me a whole bunch of itty bits. So this is 0.83 bar. And remember, these are your residuals. These are the parts that add together to give you your chi-squared. We're going to have a big chi-squared. And I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, well, Amy, I'm going to get a rounding error right away with how you put this in. This is what's so great about it. We're gonna get out of this part now. We're gonna go second quit. We're gonna quit out. And your calculator will actually do math on those lists. So right above the stats button, notice it says list. So you're gonna go second stat, and you're gonna toggle over to where it says math. And these are all the different things that it can do for you on any particular list. And so we want to add them all together, so that's sum. So I'm going to toggle down to sum and hit enter. And the thing I want to add together is all the pieces that were in list 5. So I'm just going to tell it, hey, I want you to sum list 5. I'm going to hit enter, and this value is our chi-squared. So 26.94 bar. I want to reiterate that you did not have to go through steps of L3 and L4. You could have put in L5 altogether as long as you did your parentheses right. So parenthesis L1 minus L2, parenthesis, square it, and then divide again by L2. It is nice if you feel uncomfortable doing that to go into steps. But if the steps makes you feel uncomfortable, just jump straight to L5. Okay, and that is the end of this video.